Good evening. It is Monday, September 26th, 2022. Just getting towards sunset. There's just tiniest little bit of sun left. Right now it's behind a cloud, which is just over the rooftop of the neighbor's house over there. But anyway, I guess that counts for something. I don't know. I don't really have much to say, but I did want to put a visibility, accountability recording up for posterity. I did write an about page to the character limit of 1,000 for whatever it's worth to anybody that ever watches or cares or comes across it. It's there. Here's a very brief synopsis of who I am, what I'm kind of about, but it doesn't really go into detail, of course. 1,000 characters is difficult to distill one's entire life story. But I think I did a pretty good job for a once-over, one take. And it is just, and maybe I'll change it, I don't know. But, you know, I just wrote it, just didn't storyboard it, just took me like 5 minutes. Just whatever came out was there. So that's how I kind of like to do things sometimes without over-analyzing, overthinking. Because I will do that and then do that till, you know, paralysis. It's never the plan, but it's what ends up happening. I was thinking about running at capacity, being at limits, at thresholds, at sensory upper echelons, without even realizing it, because I'm not the only one. And people don't always tend to appreciate that I'm already doing as much as what I can do, am willing to do, and I know how to do, and feel comfortable doing. So it's like when people start asking too many questions or trying to get me to commit to more, what they don't realize, through no fault of their own, they're just aware of themselves and their own capabilities and what they can do. They don't know that not everybody is them and is experiencing an entirely different world and reality. So cannot directly or indirectly even, you know, blame or assign fault or, you know, hold a grudge. Well, I can, but try not to. But when people are asking if I can do more or expect more, or, you know, try to assess and, you know, be all grumpy about, well, why don't you do more? You know, you should do more. You should want to do more. Why aren't you doing more? And then trying to get, you know, guilt trip, shame trip, fear trip, all that stuff, the gaslighting, and then the patronizing, and the belittling, and the condescending, and, you know, that's recovery. Well, it's not recovery. That is the people in recovery, and it's not everybody. I always have to throw that in there. It's just there's enough that it leaves a lasting mark, a brand, and it does not provide with, oh, there's the sun. Yeah, it's just from behind the cloud, and it's got just like a couple more minutes, and now I'm blind, by the way. I shouldn't look at the sun, but there you go. So that's part of the why. It's like tomorrow will have been, will have been, however I say that, the 4th week in a row that I've not gone back to Nineveh, and I have no plans to. There's nothing for me there. I don't know for how long there wasn't, but for at least like the last year or two of going there, it felt less and less and less and less beneficial. I might have been benefiting other people there by continuing to go there, but it was becoming more and more of a prison. Felt mandatory, compulsory. I didn't want to be there. Felt like I had to be there. I didn't have a choice about it. I didn't like having to, because they weren't my friends. I don't have any history with them besides that meeting. That's it. And I didn't want any either. I didn't seek companionship or friendship or extra. It's like, it's very, very anonymous. And sure, it's like I treat it as a loose confederation of like-minded individuals suffering and sharing similar background stories. But for me, with the being autistic, I come in with a particular set, and all the the identity issues, and not being allowed to be me for the longest time, and all of a sudden finding out I'm autistic and trying to fight for identity and to be let, and not even to be let to it's either this or nothing. And it's like, well, you seem like you're having trouble being okay with how it is the way I am. So it's like, well, if it bothers you that much, I can just not be here. And then you won't have to worry about it. It won't be a stress factor. I'm not, because people worry about me being myself correctly. How about not? How about don't you worry about me being me correctly? This is not signs of alcoholic behavior or signs of relapse. This is signs of growth, signs of being authentically autistic and genuinely sincere about my personality archetypes. And so I am not, my patronage and loyalty and fealty have expired for them. And many other groups, actually, many have fallen, lost their luster, had been losing their luster for the longest time, and it was only through adversity or situations that provided opportunities for me to disassociate and separate and distinguish myself from going, I guess. And so, making the most of it and not letting other people bully me, confuse me into taking up a throne or a seat that I don't want. And I can be threatened and harbingered and doomsayed into people fear-mongering because they're lonely, basically. They are very, very lonely, and if they don't have enough people around them, they are left with themselves. And they don't like being left with themselves because they're not comfortable with their own thoughts. And with other people around, they're distracted. And they like attention. And, so I don't blame them. It's just I'm not part of it. I'm exiting kind of the social contract. The mass accepted one, at least. I'm developing my own, which requires and does not, well, actually, it does not require. It has its own shape and function, and does not require very much outside contribution to remain in some semblance of working order. The less interactions I have with the rest of humanity, the better off I am. I feel better about the world, because I run into people, and people have these automatic expectations and assumptions of how whatever it is going to have happened. And then when they don't get it from me, I don't give the right responses, or I don't look at them, make eye contact, sustain that eye contact, do the right small talk, say the right things, then it's just weird, and they walk away, and they think whatever they think, and it just ends up bad. And so it's like, well, if I can just avoid people and avoid those interactions, because I'm never going to get good at them. The best I've ever been able to do is pretend at it, pretend to get it, try to learn and fake being what I think other people want me to be, and how to talk. And wearing earplugs at work gives me a great excuse for not interacting. I can't wear earplugs. That way I don't have to worry about it. And it's also because of the music that they play in the store is just super loud and obnoxious and repetitive and artificial. What's the word? Anesthetizing. They might as well just be like, I don't know. I'm not going to say it. Yeah. Placebo for the masses, I guess, to, a system of making everybody feel like everything's okay. So, I don't know. Sedate. Market research. Anyway, it's a name brand grocery store, retail, so what do you expect? I'm not going to change the world. All I can do is endure it and live in it. So I can make my little grumbles and gripes all I want, minor complaints and petty travails. So anyway, but I did mention through somebody that it came up that I have a birthday soon, and they bought me a cupcake at work today, so I thought that was nice. They didn't have to do that. And what was the other thing I was going to talk about? I don't know. It got lost on me. I think I made a note. No, don't mind me. Oh, right. I was thinking about gender disparity, and this is something somebody posted, and about equal share, and I was thinking about my domestication and habilitation, and I've never, I haven't cohabitated in the same domicile or had a roommate in a long time. And I was thinking about, as far as like chores and housework and running a house and all that, I was just practicing it like in my head, like how does that even go? How do people do that? And I just started making a list of words. And I was thinking, first thing is, respect and awareness and presence and appreciation and communication and equality and compassion, sensitivity. And well, the list would just go on and on and on. Empathy, I guess. Being able to read each other and tell when it's like, hopefully be able to tell when the other person needs some extra help, or needs some extra time, or needs to be left alone, or needs to be let to just do whatever they're doing, and then also hopefully that they're able to, check and be of assistance or help when the other person is in the other side of things. But and then about like not taking anything for granted as an assumption. Well, they do this, so I've done everything of mine. so I'm done. No, it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not domesticated, and I'm not habilitated really. I don't think. As far as like running a household, I live by myself, and I've lived by myself and only had to deal with myself. I don't even have guests over, ever. I don't have friends over, ever. I don't have friends. I don't really look or seek friends. I have acquaintances, and but most of them I don't even know their last names. I don't call people. I don't have conversations on the phone. I don't go and do things. I don't coordinate with other people to have activities. I don't go places. Everything I do, I just do by myself, within my ability and navigational array. I can do more, but I do as much as what I feel like I want to. And a lot of it is just on foot. I don't have any reason or cause or concern to, nothing that's motivating me or initiating me to do more. For what reason? To what end? It's like I'm already, I think, producing a good experience, something worth. It might not seem like it. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It's for me enough to feel like it's worth talking about, worth writing about, worth sharing about. And if I'm ever lacking for experience, I just have to go out the door or go to a meeting and throw myself against other people. And yeah, I'll get a story or two real quick. And most of the time, I'm in recovery from the previous ones. So it's like still, like the most recent one. Wow, we're already still going. Yeah, the sun's well set by now. It's behind the house at least. It's not actually set below the horizon. But I'm wondering, the person that was bullying me for attention and friendship at work, and I just was like, no, I don't know what we have to talk about. And I just basically had to shut the whole thing down. And I was like, at first, for a while, I was concerned about hurting their feelings. But after, enough harassment and it's very confusing. I just was like, oh, I'm less concerned now. So it's like, I just need you to go. And it's like, I'm just working. It's like early in the morning. And they seemed like they really wanted to get me away from, public area. They wanted to get me by myself. And it's like, I don't feel comfortable with that. So I just started ignoring them. And I think they've gone away. And they haven't been at work the past couple days. So I don't know what happened. But I don't consider myself, it's like, what other people do, it's like, if I hurt people's feelings and anything happens, it's like, I don't feel like responsible for what other people do. They don't hurt me, they hurt themselves. They're not, it's like I probably won't even notice. So if somebody is trying to get revenge for me not being friendly, or I didn't, they invited me to go to lunch with them, and I said no. And then they decide, well, whoa, I don't know. I didn't want to. It's like, wow. I was just friendly to them for a couple times. And noticed their work, complimented them on their work. And they just, I guess, no one had done that, given them attention in the longest time, apparently. Because they just, fed off that really quick. And for a month or more, I was just having to, just ignore them, because I saw that it was getting, I felt, threatened and tormented. And because they were kind of beginning to latch on and trying to figure out my schedule so they could, and it's like, I didn't like that at all. So not to, if they have mental difficulties, it's like, I feel for that, but it's not my job. It's like I have enough going on already that I cannot tackle and add on somebody else, even as a work person, acquaintance. Because I go to work to do a job and get out. I don't go there to really, and that's how it is now. But I was really appreciative of the person that bought me a cupcake, because it's like I know their situation. It's like, and it's just very surface, and there's no expectations of, I think they were just thanking me for just being helpful. Because whenever they have a question, I answer it to the best of my ability, and then they go on. So there's no expectations from me of them, and I feel there's no expectations from them of me, and it's just like a mutual leave each other alone unless we need something, and then, so, I don't know. I didn't like where this other person was. It was just a really weird attitude, and I felt creeped out. Me. Yeah, I know. I should, like, I'm the one to talk. But, yeah. Anyway, I didn't really have much to say, but it took me over 20 minutes to say it. And I guess that's how it goes. Well, it was a very pretty sunset. It's still not below the horizon, but I can't see it anymore. So, anyway. I hope everything's going okay for whoever's watching. Not that anybody ever watches these, but today was an off day from running. So I just slept throughout a good portion of the day until I was awoken by vacuums. So, anyway, I'm going to go now. I don't have anything left to say. So.